Another important thing to know are the standard non-descriptive characteristics of these motions. So when I say second, does it need a second? Is it debatable? Is it amendable? What vote does it require? Those are your standard non-descriptive characteristics. So I did mention it to whatever Parli Pro and Conduct kids I saw today, but that is also an important thing to make sure that you know, because when it comes to the oral question part at the end of their speaking team event, they do have to answer questions. And that's a common way that they will state those questions. So it is important to know that going in so that you're not completely thrown off and lost when they ask you that question. Amend being the next motion when it comes to amends. And when I teach my middle schoolers, this is an easy way for me to kind of get them to understand and comprehend what it means is where have you heard this term before? A lot of them say amendments, right? Like amendments to the Constitution, because when the Constitution was written, it was not perfect and immaculate the way it was written. They wanted to be sure that explicit rights were identified and provided to the citizens. So when it comes to amending motions, I try to get them to think that way, that you are just literally changing the motion. And the easiest way to change them for contest purposes is to either add a date or a dollar amount in most instances when it comes to checking the boxes, because that's what these contests are, is demonstrating that you know what these motions do. So a lot of times, if you add a date on the end of it, or you replace or add a dollar amount, those are sufficient. And ways that you amend the motion are by adding on or striking out and replacing. And I can give you an example of that. This example that I have in front of me comes from the 23 national semifinals for conduct of chapter meeting. And the main motion, this is what the cards look like. The main motion states, I move the chapter hold a tour of the chapter for faculty and community members. I don't love the way that this is written, but we would amend it by, I move to amend the main motion by adding on the words on March 21st. So if adopted, it would read, and they literally restate this with the amendment added onto the end of it. Once that is done, a second needs to happen, and then the chair needs to restate all of that, and they open the floor for discussion. As I mentioned to my students, you may not speak out of turn. You always have to be recognized before you speak when it comes to debate. And in the conduct contest, they must be referred to by office. So they did change that. You're not supposed to refer to them by their first name. And it changed in the rule book. So if you have any questions, feel free to reference that. But for my students, obviously it won't matter for you. The president is the one that really has to worry about it, but you do have to refer to them as Madam President, last name.